But anyway, that was a great, great day. Meeting Bing Crosby on the street. And, it's, we were going, my two buddies and I, we were going to rent bicycles and go out to the golf course where he was giving out an exhibition golf match with Bob Hope for charity. And here we bumped into him right on the street corner, and he was filling his pipe full of tobacco from a little tobacco pouch he had. So that was in 1940. I can't remember. I did talk to him. I can't remember everything I said, but I do remember it. I said to him, Bing, what movie are you making now? This was April 1945. And he said, a little thing called The Bells of St. Mary's. So that's where he played Father O'Malley. And so he got in his car, convertible Cadillac, and he turned around, he waved to us and took off. But because that was one of the great moments of my life while in service, no question.
And you got a letter from him later on, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 2 or 3 letters.
What did he say in the letters?
Well, he commented on my drawings. He saw the covers I was doing for the LPs for this fella that was producing radio shows, and he was naturally he was very pleased with them, and he like I said, his envelopes, his stories, I should say, were very interesting, and I believe that he was honest when he said he really did get a kick out of the covers I was doing, and they'd be all different, of course. Some would be Army when he entertained the troops over in Europe. I did a couple of covers of him entertaining the troops. Some of the hardest things I ever worked on were those Bing Crosby record covers. And I did so many of them, and
they had great memories for you.
Yes, really. Yeah, no question about it.
When all right, they got to a point when you were working full on with Marvel with all the superheroes. You were doing Thor, and you're doing the Fantastic Four, and you're doing Nova and everything. What was it like, and how hard was it to keep the kind of pace that you were doing to crank out all this work?
It was exactly very hard, because, and you never knew what you had done. You'd get a story, and I'll say Thor, and be a great story, and you'll finish it, and when you finish it, you got another story that came in. That could be the Fantastic Four, or Thor, or Rom, or any of the other characters. So you forgot that what you had done. You didn't remember the stories you were doing. You do remember the drawings you did, but you didn't remember the storylines, unless there was an exceptional story, like certain stories, like the Fantastic Four number 51. Everybody seems to like that. It seems to be everybody's favorite. Now, I can't see why they thought it was so good. It had a nice splash to it, but there weren't too many good drawings in it. I was just looking at it this morning, and it didn't really hit me that much. But I've done so many other stories, especially Thor and the Fantastic Four also. And they had to be some of the best stuff that I ever worked on, you know, more so than number 51. Yet that's the one everybody likes for some reason.
How tough was it meeting all those deadlines? Was it hard?
No, I never missed a deadline in my life. And like I said, I worked 69 years. And in other words, I used to work with, not work, but saw other people's artists, other artists, their work. And the first couple of pages, they would knock themselves out, and then they would run out of time, so to speak. And by the time they finished the story, to meet the deadline, the work had suffered. And as far as the drawing, and but I always felt I could meet deadlines that wasn't a problem, never a problem with me. I can't remember. I never lost any artwork that I'm trying to think of now. But in the meantime, the deadlines were tight.
What kept you going? What kept you going when you knew you had a deadline?
Well, for many years, I never took a vacation, and I had 4 children. I managed their softball teams, basketball, all these other. My wife couldn't drive a car, and so if she had to go to the store, I had to take off from work and go to the store and get the groceries, whatever, or bring her to the hairdresser or whatever. So I used to tease her. I said, you know, if you could drive or could have driven, I would have made $10,000 more, you know. But hey, that's life, and I never missed a deadline. You know, and some of them were very tight, Tim, and but I can never remember ever missing a deadline. So
you have to be pretty proud about that.
I was. There was a lot of things I'm proud about during my career, doing the comics. You know.
What's the proudest moment?
Probably some of the story. In other words, I can't remember ever doing a story that wasn't up to my norm. In other words, every story I ever did, if the deadline was tight, the work was always the same. In other words, my work never suffered because of time. But my favorite stories, I did the life of the Beatles, for example. That was very popular. I did the life of, you got Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, John Kennedy, all the well-known people that were popular.